right, so I'm going to share with you some stories and life lessons that I have learned, and maybe you'll have some to share with me. When I think about my parents, I have a lot of lessons that come back to me. And it was a long time ago since I was your age, and my parents had a big force in my life, but I love them dearly, and my mother's been gone for 10 years. But I still remember these things that they told me. My dad always used to say, check your oil. Yeah, you know what that means. Be ready, be prepared, make sure you don't run out of gas, all that. And he would say, don't burn any bridges. Don't burn any bridges, and I figured out it'd be really hard to get back to the other side if I did that. Everybody puts their pants on the same way. What does that mean? One leg at a time, all right. What else? He meant something by that was I had to think about for a while. What do you think he meant? We're all the same. I should not be intimidated by someone else because they get up and they put their pants on the same way I do. Nor should I feel that I'm better than anyone else because I put my pants on the same way they do. Done. And he would also say to me, don't break your arm patting yourself on the back. Well, if I came home and I was all excited about something we did at school and choir and it was so great, and don't break your arm, patting yourself on the back. So I had to remember to remain. I didn't know he was teaching me all that with those simple little statements, but he did. Okay, so Mom, the one I remember the most about her was, you're not everybody else. This would usually follow when I would say something like, but can I go to the dance everybody else is? But Mom, everybody else is skipping school. But Mom, everybody else is wearing hot pants. That was the 70s. So I thought about that. It made me mad. I wanted to be just like everybody else. But as time went on, I realized my mom was saying, think for yourself, girl. Then there was this crazy thing. We would always go shopping together, and she was one of those, maybe your mom's like this, you go to the bargains first. And she would say, Kim, always pick out the things that look the ugliest on the rack. Don't be afraid, pick the things that look the ugliest on the rack. What? So, okay, Mom, and so I'd scrape through, that's really ugly. She said, you cannot tell until you try it on. Okay, so I would go in and try it on. Not always, but sometimes that thing that was on the rack that everybody else passed by really looked pretty cool, and I would end up getting it, and I would be like, wow, where did you get that? They would have went right past it because it looked really ugly on the rack. So what do you suppose she was telling me? Maybe. Oh, that's what I came to realize. Did you hear she said, don't judge a book by its cover? I think so. That's kind of what the message that I got from it ultimately was, I need to look at things more closely and not just skim over the top. So now let's go way ahead in my life, and I'm teaching. And I've taught high school and middle school for several years, and then I find myself teaching in an after-school enrichment program for little kids. And I was so excited because I had so many goals and aspirations for them, and I was really excited about working with them. And then I met Mikey Applegate. He was a fart in a skillet. Is that a word I shouldn't say? You know, the kind of kid that was like hanging from the rafters, climbing up the curtains, you know, poking you, bothering you, not doing what he was supposed to. And I had so many things I wanted to do. But all the time I was saying, Mikey, Mikey, be quiet. Who's Mikey up there? Somebody's looking around. Hi, Mikey. Your last name isn't Applegate, is it? Oh, good. Mikey, get in line. Mikey, 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 Mikey. Oh. So the season went along, and his grandmother brought him diligently every week. And we had our final performance. And you know what? Mikey didn't do half bad. I don't know how he knew how to do what he did, but he did all right. And afterwards, his grandmother came up to me and she said, I said to her first, I said, wow, I am so proud of Mikey, aren't you? And she said, yes, but do you know what he told me? I said, what? He said that not once this year did you tell him he did something good. It could make me cry again. I learned my lesson. Not long after that, I took my daughter to her doctor's appointment. And in her pediatrician's office, it was my pediatrician when I was little. It was Dr. Strahler. He had a really red face and big teethy smile and sparkling eyes, and he made you feel good when you came in there, even if you were sick. So Dr. Strahler had this poster on his wall, and it said, 100 ways to praise a child. And I was waiting for him to come into the office, and I read all 100. And I thought, I need this as a constant reminder, because I knew all these things, but I was too busy trying to get Mikey to do what I wanted Mikey to do, that I didn't realize that he had things that I missed. What a miss. And his grandmother loved him, and I should have loved him the same. And so I asked Dr. Strahler if I could have one of those posters. I just said, I love your poster. He said, I have one, you can have it. So I got it, I framed it. I had it in my office for years. I still have it. And I go through and read, wow, bingo, you did it. Awesome work, great improvement, fantastic. And there are 1,000 ways. And I try every time I have a student to make sure that I don't treat them the way I treated Mikey Applegate. Tough lesson. There are other things I learned along the way that I want to share with you. Maybe you know Stephen Schwartz, who wrote Wicked? Yeah? And one of his earlier shows was called Godspell. Maybe some of you know Godspell. So in performance, so many times we have to work through our fears and our stage fright and being expressive. And one of the things he said, when I directed the show several times, you get this little book when you get the libretto and the score, and you get all of the script and everything. This little packet says director's notes. And it's Stephen Schwartz's notes to his original Broadway cast. And he said, I want you to perform like half of your audience is blind and the other half is deaf. I never have had anybody try to perform any differently since. Maybe some of you know Henry Leck. Anybody here been in Indianapolis Children's Choir? You know Henry Leck. Henry Leck is the artistic director for the National Choir Festival that we are so excited to premiere this coming March at National Festival. And I watched, yeah! I watched him conduct a rehearsal, and he said to his singers, who were sounding glorious, people hear what they see. 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 You really do. We are so visual. That has been important to me. Another one that works for me is to listen loud. When you're in ensemble, to hear balance and blend and the dynamics and the phrasing. Do you just do your part? Of course not. We listen loud. And then I found myself in business settings or teaching settings or in a job interview. And I had to remember to listen loud instead of sitting there thinking about what was I going to say next. Because what I have to say isn't half as important as what I'm listening to others say. All of those things have helped me, and they constantly remind me, and I don't have it figured out yet, but I'm trying. And I hope that you will grasp onto those things in your life that come around and say, this makes sense to me. And when you make a mistake, like I did with Mikey Applegate, I hope you'll learn from it and never make it again, because you'll be a better person for it, a better teacher, a better citizen, a better friend, a better colleague. My favorite theologian says, to have the best life, to do the best we can, we need to live fully, love wastefully, and be all that we can be. What fires you up? Where does your passion lie? What burns in your belly? Music. What helps you to be all you can be, to live fully and love wastefully? I think that we are the luckiest people in the world because we do have music. And when we sing or play in ensemble or dance in ensemble, it's so much bigger than anything we can do by ourselves. I'm so lucky to be in this world, loving you, loving me, living free. I'm so lucky to be in this world, loving, living. I'm so lucky to be in this world, loving me. Spinning round like a